الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ففروا إلى الله.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. In these blessed days of Ramadan, once again we have the opportunity to correct some of our character flaws. And one of the best things that we can do really to ourselves and to other people is to give them the benefit of the doubt. And in Arabic this is called husn al-dhan. We can also have husn al-dhan with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in this case it is actually having a positive view of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with us in our lifetime. Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu related from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنَّ عَبْدِي بِي إِنْ ظَنَّ بِي خَيْرًا فَلَهُ وَإِنْ ظَنَّ شَرًّا فَلَهُ. I'm where my servant finds me. If he thinks good of me, this is what he will find. And if he thinks bad of me, this is what he will find. So when we have husn al-dhan with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are hopeful of his forgiveness when we ask for it. We are hopeful that he will accept all of our acts of worship when it comes to fasting, when it comes to our qiyam, when it comes to our prayer. We are hopeful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it, and we don't worry about it once we make our acts of worship. And when we have husn al-dhan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when a calamity befalls us, we view this as a test and not as a punishment. When we take this similar concept and translate in our interactions with humans, then this is called giving people benefit of the doubt. We again are taking actions of those around us and looking at it in a positive light. So for example, you have a friend that rushes by you and he has a mad look on his face. You start thinking to yourself, why is he angry with me? Why is he treating me so cold? How come he didn't come and say salam to me? This is subhanAllah, this is su' al-dhan. This is when we have a negative idea about how our friend is dealing with us. But why don't we take a step back and think for a moment? Let's give that person the benefit of the doubt. So when we do that, we start to give excuses. If we stop and think about it, maybe our friend was late and that's why he didn't stop and say salam. Or maybe he was sick. Maybe he wasn't feeling well. Or worse yet, maybe there was even a death in the family. What should we do the next time we see our friend? Instead of thinking at home to ourselves, next time I see him, I'm not going to say salam, I'm going to hold grudges and waste all of my positive energy on harsh feelings. Instead, what should we do? We should give people the benefit of the doubt. And next time we see our brother, we should actually call upon him and say, what's wrong? I saw that you looked a little upset or something was wrong. How can I help you? What an amazing connection we can make with our fellow brothers and sisters in Islam if we take this approach to all of the misunderstanding that befalls us day in and day out. Think of another example. Perhaps you have a friend who's terrible with answering her phone. And all of a sudden, it's bad timing. You try calling her, there's a very important event coming up, and all of a sudden she's not answering. What do you think? Well, if you have negative thoughts about your friend, all of a sudden you're thinking she never answers her phone, she's trying to avoid helping me out in my time of need, I can't believe what an inconsiderate friend she is. And once again, we can go home and start to think all of the negative thoughts about this friend. But subhanAllah, when we again go back towards having husn al-dhan of people, what can we do? We can start to give excuses. What are some of the excuses we could have given to our friend? We could have thought that maybe she lost her phone, maybe it got damaged, maybe she dropped it in the sink, or maybe it was broken. So many of these things could very reasonably happen, and we should spend our positive energy in thinking of excuses for our friend so that we don't start hating them and holding grudges for absolutely no reason, subhanAllah. And sometimes days, weeks, and even months go by before we even have a chance to clarify some of these negative thoughts. Best thing to do is to, instead of being upset with your friend, actually call upon them and see, maybe there's something wrong, maybe they're lost, subhanAllah. When we have husn al-dhan with fellow creation, then we're really giving a chance to bettering relationships within the family, within the community, and within the ummah as a whole. So I really ask all of you brothers and sisters, and including myself, that during this blessed time of Ramadan, when we think about racing towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should really think about giving people benefit of the doubt, and in such a manner being able to increase the love between us and being successful in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us for our shortcomings and help us in giving each other the benefit of the doubt.